Talk about why this step is necessary to expel her from the body.
Good afternoon, Nicole. It's bad enough that we currently are in a state where America's greatest enemies are within our country right now, 20 years after the greatest threat was outside our country. But we also are seeing that some of the greatest enablers of these domestic terrorist enemies are within America's legislative body, the Congress, and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others who perpetuate this big lie that the election was stolen, who embrace QAnon and all of the groups affiliated with them, like the ones that Alex was talking about earlier on the segment you had. That's dangerous. We have metal detectors now to come onto the House floor. The security posture at the Capitol looks like a fortress. And it's because so many of my colleagues, like Ms. Greene, refuse to denounce these terrorist groups and, in fact, do nothing but inflame and inspire them.
Well, what's going on when 12 of your colleagues vote against medals for the police force that protected all of you?
I presided over that vote. My two brothers are police officers. My dad was a police officer. And we owe our lives to the police officers who saved us on January 6th. I can't imagine why you would vote against that. The stated reason was they didn't like that the word insurrection was in there. Well, too bad. It was an insurrection that came to our Capitol. I think it's more a consciousness of guilt that they were a part of the reason that the mob came to the Capitol. And Nicole, just today, 14 members, many of the same who voted against giving the police that honor, voted against denouncing the military coup in Myanmar. And so you have a coup caucus, so to speak. They liked the coup in Myanmar because it was successful, and the one that they inspired was not.
Well, can you speak about the ideological underpinnings, then, in your view, of this modern Republican Party? The New York Times has written on a half a dozen Republican House members with associations, contacts, and ties to some of the very same militia groups that are under scrutiny by the FBI for the insurrection. The report that came out this week from ODNI and DHS and DOJ about the Russian disinformation campaign just says in black and white that they were targeting willing or accomplices in the government, in the high-profile public places, in the right-wing media. It's pretty easy watching reels of tape and having covered this for the last year to figure out who that was. Why is the modern Republican Party afraid of using the word insurrection, pro-coup, as you're saying, and against treating Russia as the adversary they are?
Because it looks more like what they subscribe in and how they have practiced. You know, Nicole, I was raised by two Republicans who believe that we should have small government, lower taxes. That was the mantra that still inspires my parents and my brothers and my wife's parents and everyone in our family. That's what inspires them. Today, it's not a Republican Party of principles. It's a party of cultural grievances. It's a party that instead of, looking at what we can do to better use the taxpayers' dollar in a collaborative way to take on this pandemic, they want to exploit grievances of the American people. But also, Nicole, another phenomena I've seen since being in Congress is that it's a pro-wrestling culture. They don't look at the people they represent as constituents. They look at them as fans. And they think that they can just hit me over the head in the ring with a steel chair, and then we backslap off camera. And that's how it is. These guys, they'll come up to me and they'll slap your back. They'll say, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" And I can't even look them in the eye because it's sickening. They really think it's just for show. And that's what is so just disturbing about Congress right now.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.